you trying to get yourself in a place where you can be seen, you can be heard, you can get the exposure that you want, it's going to come down to your ability to use artificial intelligence, because if you don't, you're going to get drowned out by all of the noise. I've been talking a lot lately about how artificial intelligence is going to give millions and tens of millions of creators, of coaches, of speakers, of authors, of people in our industry more of a voice to be more consistent and to stand out. So what does that mean for your brand? That means that if you're not in line with creating content more consistently, you will get left behind. People will not know who you are. They will not know your products and services. And if it's hard for you to get engagement now, imagine what's going to happen 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, you trying to get that exposure. So that's why we're focusing on continue to expand our reach. And you want to leverage that through AI tools and platforms. Using AI is going to give you the ability to create content easier and faster. The reason that there's a lot of conversation around this right now is because it's putting a lot of people out of jobs. You know, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. I don't know, right? You want more people to have jobs, but at the same time, it's making society more convenient in different ways. In terms of our industry as coaches, as experts, as speakers, as authors, as, you know, we doing events, we doing all of these things, right? So for people in our industry where we basically monetize what we know, how can we leverage AI to create content? And the reason we want to do it to create content is because in our space, people recognize our credibility and authority based on the content that we create. I get a lot of questions. I've been doing this for like 10 years. I get a lot of questions about people saying, well, they talk about imposter syndrome. They talk about being an authority on their topic. They talk about, how do I gain credibility? How do I get people to respect me? How do I get people to like me? How do I get my ideal clients to want my products or services? Or I get a lot of people. I was talking to one of my clients earlier today. He was like, man, He said, I've been getting clients, but I feel like I can get more clients. He said, but for some reason, I'm doing a lot of activity online, but it's just when I ask people to join a webinar or ask people to join my program, or if I'm doing these asks, and sometimes it's just I don't get the response that I'm looking for, right? So in our space, in order to get compliance from our ideal client, you have to be an authority in what you do. How do you be an authority on your topic, on your niche? You be an authority on it by releasing and publishing content. That's how you be an authority. When you publish content, people see it, people like it, people love it. People say, yo, you obviously know the answers. You obviously can help me, you know, and it don't have to be the biggest result in the world. You can obviously help me learn a little bit more, get a little bit closer to my goals and all of that good stuff. So if the basis of somebody's decision of why they're going to work with you is through your content, wouldn't it make sense to make sure that you produce as much quality content as possible, as often as possible? Wouldn't that make sense? If that makes sense, go ahead and put make sense below and give this some like and give this some love. Put make sense below. So our conversation today is around, well, how do you even create the content? How do you create it more consistently? A lot of times I get folks who, they got multiple jobs. So you might find yourself with, 2, 3, 4 jobs. You might find yourself where, I got a bunch of kids. I have I got this going on. I got health issues. I'm going through a divorce. I'm moving. I'm doing this. In life doesn't stop because you decided that you wanted to chase after your dreams. It's because you decided you wanted to jump in business. Life is not going to stop. But however, life doesn't have to stop. You just have to find a better way to be able to continue to build and work on your craft while life happens to you. And that's the key. So why there's a lot of conversation around AI right now is because that allows you to be able to still continue to do your craft while you're living life. And that's why I'm excited about it, because I know there's going to be hundreds of millions of people that are now going to create content more consistently. But on the flip side, I know that there's also going to be hundreds of more. I know there's going to be, for you particularly, whatever you teach or train to help people with, I know for a fact there's going to be millions minimum of people that are now going to take the attention that could be on you and your content. They're going to suck the eyeballs right away from you and onto their products and services. So Facebook posts. Let's say you're using Facebook posts. If you go to my page, you can see, for example, and I use a lot of my own thoughts, but sometimes I use AI. But if you create Facebook, if you go to my page, you'll see that I'm usually doing these long form Facebook posts, and I have my pictures, right? So sometimes, not all the times, because I still like my authentic voice, but sometimes I do leverage AI to just help me with some of the topics, some of the languaging, and then I'll put my own spin on it. I'll put my own juice on it, my own swag on it, right? So it sounds like my voice. It sounds like me, right? So I'll do that. But that's something that you can use. Like, so if you're saying, man, I'm not posting every day, or I'm not posting as often as I want, let's say on Facebook, for example, you could use it for social media posts, use it for Facebook, use it for Instagram. On the Instagram videos or photos, why don't you do a description of that? And you could literally leverage some of these AI tools that are literally write the whole thing for you. You just got to tell them what topic. You basically just got to give them some preliminary information. You give them, what is it about? What's the message you're trying to convey? What's the idea you're trying to convey? What do you want people to know? Literally, you type a couple words and it'll spit out a couple paragraphs, or spit out a few sentences, however you set up the parameters of it. Right, so that's the dopest. It's one of the dopest things about it is if you're releasing social media content, not only can you do that and create the content, but you can also, depending on the platform, depending on the tool, you can actually automate it. Meaning, if you're saying, man, I'm busy, I'm doing a bunch of these different things, I know I need to release content. Well, why don't you automate it so you can literally create you can literally have these AI platforms create a post for you. Not only just create it, but you can have it actually post it for you. You can have it created and posted in just from one AI integration. You can have it. You can say every day at 5:00, I want you to create a post on this topic, and I want you to post it on these platforms. That's crazy. Never in history that's ever been done. So that's what's so dope about it is now you don't have excuses. We don't have excuses to feed our audience, to feed our clients now. We have an ability to make that happen. So that's just one example. Emails. Emails are a great way to leverage AI, right? So we know that, let me see, what's the percent? I don't know specifically the percentages, but they say that people need at least 7 to 17 exposures to you, to your content, to your product or service for them to order to become clients. Now, a lot of times we'll come across people, but we don't get clients because they haven't been exposed to you enough. It's not very often that somebody will see you for the first time and just buy, unless it's like a commodity item. But if you're following me and my content, we're teaching, we're selling products and services. A lot of times we have higher level or high ticket products and services. So that's going to take multiple exposures. Well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do the multiple exposures, especially when we know sometimes on social media, the way that the algorithm is set up, they might not see every single post. Well, you do that through emails. That's why every major store, every major retailer, they want you to sign up to be part of the email list, especially in our industry, be part of my email list. Because now I can follow up with you. I can send you emails. I can send you deals. I can send you specials. I can give you content. I can give you value. I can send you to my YouTube channel. It's so much I can do. I can send you tickets to my live event and have you register for it. So much you can do through email. But the reason people don't leverage it or send emails minimum on a weekly basis is because they feel like they don't have the time. What's the longest part? The longest part of sending emails is not hitting the send button, right? What's the longest part? The longest part is writing the email. I remember anytime you have something new that hits the marketplace, there's going to be a tipping point. Meaning it's hot, everybody love it, there's eyes on it, but you're never going to get the amount of attention that you first got when you first adopt a new technology or, just a new channel. You're never going to get that again, right? So it's with everything. I remember about mid 2000s when like these social media platforms was going crazy, right? Everybody was, this is like Facebook might have had 150,000 followers. YouTube was just a baby at the time. People didn't really know about YouTube, or wasn't really on YouTube like that. It damn sure wasn't like a search engine. And guess what? It was so easy to make sales. You could literally have a full-time living. All you had to do was just post. That's all you had to do. You could just post and say, hey, I'm looking for 2 coaching clients, and literally you'll have a bunch of people comment, and you'll sign up thousands of dollars. You could literally do that every day, every week, and just be making money back to back. You could have, like, that easily 6 to 7 figures. All you had to do was post. You definitely cannot do that today. You can't say I'm looking for a client and just get clients pouring in. You can't say that you can't say that on speaking engagements, events. You can't. It's harder. The question is, well, why is it harder? Why was it so much easier for people to make sales and make offers early on, and people would just adopt it versus today? You want to know why? Because now there's more competition. There's more people that are on these social media platforms. See, Facebook had 150,000 users back then. You know how many Facebook got at the time of this? We doing this training right now? Over 2.94 billion. 2.94 billion active users. Don't you think it's a little bit more crowded now? Now, don't get it twisted. There's still a lot of opportunity, but what I'm saying is, now the separator is not you just posting. The separator is the quality of your content, and the separator is the quantity of your content, how often you're posting and being seen, right? So that's the separator. So that's why you really want to leverage these AI platforms.